Okay, so I wanted to make a video outside, and this video I wanted to talk about back when me and Sage were kids and we were grieving for our father. Well, I was anyway, but Sage didn't really know our dad, but I did. And when I found out, or when I realized that my dad had passed on or was dead and in some sort of spirit world, I became weirdly suicidal, where I would lay in the middle of the road and stuff like that. And I don't know how Sage felt. I would have to ask him, but me and Sage, we grew up together and we had a very fun childhood. We grew up together. We went vacation. We did vacations all the time. We went and had all kinds of fun. We always had pretty much a very eventful birthday, or like Easter, or like, it's not like we had a bunch of friends over or anything, but like when we had a birthday or when we had a party, it was birthday cake, the whole nine, fucking everything. It was fucking the works. You know, when we were having our brother over, our older brother, because there was me, Sage, and Bronson from Casey before he died. Our father's name is Casey, and Rhonda's name is Rhonda, and she has no blood relation to me, but is Sage's biological mother and is Casey's son. So I feel more of a blood connection to Rhonda than anything, because my father had a child with the woman who raised me for my entire life, basically since 2 years old. Like, I mean, my dad passed suddenly, abruptly, and nobody ever seen that coming. I mean, when do you ever see somebody how can you predict somebody's going to get murdered, you know? Like, my dad was stabbed and he was killed, and it left me very suicidal. I would lay in the middle of the road and do odd things that were just kind of very risky at that time. And I believe that I truly thought that I would go into that place with Dad. So I still believe that when I pass on, I will join my father, I will join my grandmother, and I will join any fallen family members or anybody who is in my family circle, or anybody who is relevant to me, to who I care about, you know. And I think that's how, I guess, eternity works, you know. When it comes down to the afterlife, it is what you believe it to be, you know. It's not, I don't believe it to be Jesus and a perfect world and all you can eat buffet. No, nothing like that. But I believe that your loved ones are there, the people that you've missed will be there, and there's no reason to take your life. It's not something that anybody should ever do. But back to our childhood, back when we were in Lambeth, we did a lot of things when my brother came over. So when my brother would come over, our mom would ask us, what do you kids want to do? Where do you want to go? And we would say, I mean, in Canada, there's a number of places where kids can go and play. There's the Toronto Zoo. There's Canada's Wonderland. Back then, there was Wally World. There was, frick, I can't remember the names of some of these places, but there was like waterworks, like places where you could either have an amusement park experience on roller coasters, on water slides, or all of the above. And we'd go to Western Fair, we'd go to Toronto to the CN Tower, walk on the glass floor, and we'd also travel a lot. Like, we'd drive and go on road trips. So fast forwarding a little bit, when it came down to what my mom did afterwards, we got basically into we became another family, slowly but surely, and there was another member added, and his name was Kevin. And this is when we were still living in Lambeth, and it was someone that my mom had met and started seeing. So that quickly happened, and we had moved in, and that's how I had grown up on the reserve. Me and Sage had gotten to know what it was like to be, where we were from. We got to know the reserve that we're from. We got to go to the school on the reserve where we're from. But the man that my mom met took care of me and Sage like we were his own kids. He was a good role model, and me and Sage became really good friends growing up. We already were. Like, back in Lambeth, we only had each other, and shortly, at some point before moving back down, or before moving to the reserve, to Oneida Nation, which is located around London, Ontario, we had another member of the family added, and Mom had a baby. So I had another little stepbrother. Sage had a half brother, and Tanner was born. And we had another baby in the family. So Tanner was obviously a little kicker and a screamer, and and then there were 4. So we decided to move down to Oneida, and we had a house full of stuff. We had a trampoline, and we were moving into a house, so it was a good setup. And we had a big, huge yard where we were moving to. We had a playground, eventually, but it was a very nice transition and a change of scenery for me and Sage to be able to go and get into that sort of setting, because without that we wouldn't have been able to see where we came from and where our home is. But that's where our family is as well. Our last name is Dockstader. That was our father's last name. But I started this story back in one of my other videos, and I wanted to pick it up because I didn't really finish it properly. And yeah, so it's late. I am packing up my stuff. I gotta move rooms once again, and this time it's a big move. Packing up my stuff, moving to a new room. Hopefully it's a good one. But I'm outside here. I want to pick up that story again. Basically where I left off is we moved down to Oneida. We now have another little baby in the family named Tanner. And Kevin, he's now we are living with Kevin down on Oneida Nation. And yeah, it's a long story from there, but we continued to have a very good upbringing, lots of traveling, lots of fun, and we were also closer to our older brother, Bronson, so we got to visit a lot. And yeah, so I'm gonna end it here, and it's been a while since I posted. I hope you guys like this video, and I finally got to use my tripod, and I hope I got my face squared in the camera. But anyway, bye guys.